Welcome back to Dark Souls. Having made it halfway through Upper Blight Town, we're now going to continue our journey. This involves running along here and going up this little ladder. And killing these two infected Blight Towners. The reason we do this is to stop them ambushing us as we go along this bridge, and secondly to lure these little dogs that we can just see down there into suiciding themselves off the bridge. They're basically like the lower Undeadburg dogs, except smaller, faster, and very, very stupid. They also breathe fire, which is why we don't really want to fight them. Once the dogs are dealt with, it's back down the ladder. Around the corner. Now we're going to want to watch for one of the infected here. And as we get to about here, you'll probably start noticing the tonk tonk of a blow dart. There it is. So you can take one hit without getting toxic, but that's probably about it. Lucky as hell there. No idea what this guy's doing. So I thought he dropped a soul item. Once we're here, my favoured route is to drop down onto this platform. That's another dog dying. And then roll down to pick up this soul item. From this point, you'll probably attract the attention of some Blight Towners who are coming up the ladder here. And there's some travelling around behind us. You can tell that by the sound of the breaking pots. And there he is. Now, as I said in the previous video, one of the things that makes Blight Town quite difficult is, apart from the precarious footing, is that enemies can come out to you from unexpected directions, from areas that you thought were clear. Now we're going to pop down here. Because as we walk along here, there's a blow dart guy. Just give him a quick whack. And then follow this bridge round. Up here on the left is another Blight Towner. Dispatch him nice and quick. And then down here to pick up the Eagle Shield. There it is, the Eagle Shield. This is the lightest Great Shield in the game. As you can see, it only weighs 6. If you look at some of the other shields we have, it's only 0.5 of a unit heavier than the Knight Shield. And let's bring up its stats. Has 70 stability and blocks 95 physical. As you can see, whilst it doesn't block as much damage as the Knight Shield, it's significantly more stable. So if you're going to put that much in your shield, the Eagle Shield is quite good. Now, this is our first Great Shield, so one of the traits of the Eagle Shield, or in fact any Great Shield compared to a standard shield, is that your parry is replaced by sort of shield slam movement. But since it doesn't block poison, we're going to swap back to the spider shield for this area. The other thing you'll probably notice from this vantage point is this horrible thing on the wall. This is a parasitic wall hugger, and it protects the power within sorcery. It's also incredibly deadly from the front. Fortunately, it's very, very easy to get to the back of it, where it's utterly helpless. Alright, once we've picked up that item, it's the Eagle Shield, it's back up the ladder. Now, we sort of picked up some soul counts, so we know some of these guys have died, but we don't know exactly which ones. Nothing here. Round here. Now you can just drop down, or you can be daring and try and do leaps. Checking around here for enemies. You'll want to come up this platform because there's a blowpipe sniper right at the top, and there's also sometimes a Blight Towner if he hasn't already climbed down or fallen to his death. Any scenario of these scenarios are likely. The blowpipe bar is there, quick hit, swing round. Blight Towner isn't there. Go around the top. This guy, however, is here. And this is where we come down to attack the back of the parasitic wall hugger. One thing to watch out here is that there are other Blight Towners who can follow your route back up around here and sneak up on you. This thing is, you won't see the damage numbers unless you really angle your camera up, because they're kind of up there somewhere. So just, you know, whack away at it. Or if you got your pyromancy up, it's quite vulnerable to pyromancy. So we're just going to burn it. And after a while it does that, and without any real danger to ourselves we can pick up the pyromancy. Pick up the sorcerer's catalyst again. So how the power within pyromancy works is it gives you a pretty hefty damage boost, but at the cost of ongoing damage over time. It's quite good in situations where it's a damage race, and you know you're more interested in killing them quick, but can survive the dot. So once we pick up this item, we need to go onwards down that corridor. Here is a barbarian and a Blight Towner just behind him. Kind of have to be a bit careful. Just don't let yourself get swarmed. The combination of the fast one and the slow one can be a bit tricky. And this is something that holds true for later parts of the game too. Don't know why I'm pillaging those. They only ever seem to have broken straight swords, so they do sometimes give you small soul items. Okay, once you get to this ladder, instead of going through the fog door, you can just look down there and very, very carefully drop down to the platform. This gets you the whip, which is a pretty awful weapon, though it's popular for some cosplays, i.e. Indiana Jones cosplay, and it does have the benefit that its strong attack will get around a shield. To get away from the whip platform, we just drop down in this little gap and goes through here. This brings us out 2 ladders below the fog door. I'll just go up and show you. Once we get here, it's time to start our final descent. We meet a new enemy, the crag spider. These things are fragile, but they can breathe fire in a wide arc in front of them. They are obviously fairly immune to fire themselves. Fortunately, they have no poise. There's the fire. There's the flamethrower. Now, along here, once we just drop down, there's another sniper there. Basically, this guy prefers to take on with the drop down, charge the sniper, and then turn around and deal with the crag spider. Okay. The reason we've come down here is to pick up the Wanderer set. You can start with the clothes if you start as the Wanderer, but the Wanderer starts with a scimitar, and here you pick up the Falchion, which is a straight upgrade if you like the moveset. And here we have the mosquitoes, Blight Town's most hated foes. Fortunately, whilst they can be a pain to hit, because they've got weird hitboxes and are little, they are easily dispatched with throwing knives or spells. The other thing is, a lot of people think they respawn infinitely. They don't. Each spawn point has about 6 to 8 mosquitoes. We've killed 2. We're just going to zoom in now and snipe the rest to show what I mean about them not being infinite. Just have to find our range and then wait till they get to it. So that's 4. That's mosquito 4. Now they normally follow the same approach pattern, so we probably won't have to move our crosshairs. That said, let's not take chances, because they can be a bit of a pain if they do hit. 5, 6. And that's it, 1 spawn disabled until we get to the next bonfire. Now this section is basically the last section before the bonfire, and it can be a bit of a bastard because there's spiders tucked in all sorts of weird places and you can get trapped. Obviously you don't want to get trapped. You can get sort of caught between pilings or fall under things. None of these are pretty good situations to be in. And one day I'll remember the bows don't work the way they do in Dark Souls 2. Okay, killing them with my unupgraded bow isn't a suggestion. So what we're going to do is just going to snipe these two with spells. Again, nope, they're pretty spell resistant, so we're not going to do that either. We are going to, in the words of many Dark Souls messages, try bravery. First, whack this one through the wood, because hitboxes are special at times. Before we head down, just going to walk... No, so I thought we could walk along there, but there's nothing to get. I'm leading you astray, my loyal viewers. What you want to really do here, as I said, is not get yourself caught on shit and not get yourself surrounded by them. Don't, especially be careful when you're following up on swings that you don't drop into the mud. Looks like they've all managed to fall down. There's another little dog, there's one. Okay, I'm not actually sure where all my crag spider buddies have gone. And you'll notice as I stepped into the mud, I've started taking poison build-up. This is another one of Blight Town's delightful features. Namely, the swamp is poisonous. And that's why we took the poison ring. That's why it's so important. Now, so that you can move through it a lot quicker. Okay. The trick to this area, to not being stressed out by it, is to know that you are going to be poisoned. Don't waste your purple moss clumps until you're in an area where you've got solid ground and you need to be at full health. Just top up with your Estus flasks whenever you get really low or in danger. And you'll be delighted to know that just along here, by following the wall, keeping it on your right, is a bonfire. Just before we go and rest, just going to head up the tunnel. And up the tunnel, up the tunnel. This is the bottom of the cistern that we were jumping down the inside of earlier to get the whip and all that, and kill the parasitic wall hugger. And in the chest is a dragon scale. And look, you can see here's the body of one of the things we killed. Or possibly it fell to its doom. Join me next episode as we explore the swamp proper and take on the boss. This has been Mad Cat. Thank you for watching.